Hello friends, welcome back to lecture number 5 related to Java programming. In this lecture, we are going to see getter and setters. Then we are going to discuss public versus private visibility of our different data members and our different member function of the class. Then we are going to discuss about the encapsulation. This lecture is important from our previous lectures, because in this lecture we are going to discuss first pillar of object-oriented programming. Basically, object-oriented programming is categorized into 4 different pillars. First is the encapsulation, second is the abstraction, third is the inheritance, and fourth is the polymorphism. And in our next lectures I am going to discuss these pillars and these principles step by step. So the first principle that in today's lecture I am going to concentrate is about encapsulation. Encapsulation is basically a technique that provides data protection by making our attributes or fields as a private and access through these data members through public members or public methods. So this is the last program that already we have seen, and already we are working in our every video for this specific scenario of the product class. We have created the product class, then already we have set the attributes, then we have set our default constructor, then parameterized constructor, then this was our main in which we created the object. So in this program I am going to change a little bit more. First I am going to discuss about the visibility of our data member. In this case we have the private data members, and in this case we have just one class. Okay, we have the main class as well, and you can see that in main class this class contain product class contain your main method in the same class. Okay, so it means we have just one class that contains our class, and as that contain our main function in one class. And what about the private data members, and what about the private keyword visibility is that whenever you are going to place a private keyword in front of your data members, it remains accessible within the class. Means we cannot access this private keyword outside the class. Okay, so for this I am going to create a new class in order to make a difference how private members are accessible within class, while public members are accessible outside the class as well. In order to clarify the concept, I am going to create a one more class in the same package. This was our first Java program package folder in which we have the package my first Java program. In this package I am going to create a new class, that is new class, and I am giving this class to a name of demo. Okay, and in demo class I want to add my main method as well. Okay, now you can see that this is another class demo, and this is the main method for the demo class, and this was a product class that already we have created here. What I'm going to change it here is that I want to see that these private data members are visible in demo class or not visible in demo class. Okay, so I'm going to change a little bit. I am making this main method as a committed method. I'm going to commit this method because I don't want to access this method in the same class. Now I am moving toward the demo class, and in this class as I am using main for this demo class. Now I am creating the object first, product p equals to new product. After creating this object, I want to access these private data members which is in product class, and I am working in the demo class. Now what you can see that as I have created the object with the product name p equals to new product, it will obviously call our default constructor. It will not work for the parameterized constructor, so I am going to comment my parameterized constructor here because I don't want to give parameter in the main function. Okay, this is the display function and I have committed my main method here. So as I am moving toward my demo class demo.java, and as I am going to create the with the help of object name product p dot id, I am giving it a value. This is the private data members, and I am trying to access it in another class. P dot id equals to 1, and p dot name, you can see that it is not visible in demo class. P dot name equals to for example laptop. Our product id is this and our product name is this. So you can see that you are basically the field product id is not visible. It means these instance variables are not visible in another class. Why this is happening? Due to the reason that our instance variable or our field or our attribute are basically set as private, so its visibility is private. So private members are not accessible outside the class, they are just accessible within the class. Mean we can use these private members with our main function that is inside the class, and we can create the object and we can call the member function xyz. But for this time, if this visibility is not visible, it means it will give you an error because we are trying to access the private members. So in order to access these member in other class, we are going to change its visibility from private to public. As I am going to change it public, public members are accessible outside the class as well. So as I am going to keep it public, now you can see that my demo class now works. Product p equals to new product, first product object is created, and with the help of this object I can access the instance variable product.id equals to 1 and product.name equals to laptop. Then I am going to print it here. I am going to display product.id plus I am going to display product.name value. Now you can see that I am not having an error at this time. As I am going to execute it, you can see that first default constructor is called because in our product class we have defined our default constructor, and as default constructor create an object p, then second line we have set p.id equals to 1. We have set the value for our instance variable id is 1 and string name is laptop, and it will display the values as well. So this is the difference between private and public keyword. Private access modifier is visible just within the class, but public keyword is accessible outside the class as well. So in order to implement this concept, we have seen this example. Now I am moving toward another important example, that is the encapsulation. For encapsulation, we need to implement the getter and setter as well. Okay, so in order to implement the encapsulation, what we are going to do is I'm just using the private keyword. Encapsulation means you are going to protect your data from irrelevant users. So for this purpose, you are going to make your data as private. So for encapsulation, first step is that your data members, your fields always remain private Now second thing is that in order to make it private, if you have make these members private, now second thing is that how you can access these private member in your class. In order to access these private member in class, we are going to use another concept, that is the setter and getter. Setter and getter are basically two important properties. For example, these are the control methods. We cannot directly access the private data members in encapsulation because we already set their visibility as private, so they are not accessible outside the class. Okay, second, we want to implement the concept of encapsulation. And for encapsulation, first thing that we have set is the visibility of our data member. Encapsulation provide data protection, so this reason we have set our attribute as a private data members. Okay, so second thing we need to do for implementing the encapsulation is that in order to access these private members, we need some public control methods in our class. Because constructor just create the help us to create the objects, but it is not used for accessing these private fields. For this we need some functions, and there are two built-in functions in Java. First, that's called the encapsulation, or that is used for accessing your private data members. So these are two built-in function. You can write with these built-in function as well, but here I'm not going to write it. I'm just use that method, but just you can right click your right click on your empty space in your code, and then there is an option of source folder here. Okay, so you can search for source, and in source you can see that there is an option for setter and getter as well. So this is the option, generate setter and getter. I just right click on the empty code, and then there is an option for source, and from source you can move toward generate getter and setter. As I'm just going to click it, it will ask me that select getter and setter functions that are the built-in function. Now what I want to do is I want to access these data member, that is ID and name. For this private members I need some public method as well. So I'm just clicking the both of them, and it create setter and getter both for attributes. I have two attributes. If you have more attribute, then it will create more getter and setter for these attributes. Just I'm clicking the generate, and now you can see that there are additionally method that is going to be added here. Public int get id, that is for accessing the private id, and public void set id, that is used for accessing the private id. Okay, so what is get there's set id and get id, and there's a difference between set and get. Set basically write data, and get basically read the data. So in set you can see that this dot id equals to this, whatever we take from our main function, it comes to this parameter, and then it will assign this value to the instance variable. So set basically work like our you can see parameterized constructor, and get basically return that value that is set in set function. Okay, now you can see that this is this get and set functions are just for id. Similarly, it for name it create another property. Okay, so for name we can see that here it is created a get name. Get name basically return, and basically it read the name whatever is set in the whatever it is right in the set name. Okay, so this is the way, and you can see that these function visibility are public, or that is the reason for encapsulation. First thing is that you must keep your data member private, and in order to access these method we need to implement these properties through getter and setter, and their visibility is public, so you can use these built-in function. Now what you need to do in the main, then I have the display method, and that will print the id and name. And now I'm moving toward the main method. I'm going to uncommit this code, and what I need to do is I've just created the product. Now now the default constructor call, as the object is created. Now I want to access these private members. So as I'm going to access p dot id equals to 3 and p dot name equals to this, so we don't need to it will give the error because we are trying the private members, okay, and it will don't give access to the private members because now we have set the property, and property is basically support for accessing the private data members. For encapsulation basically work through these public method, and then it will change, then with the help of these control method you can access your instance variable that are set. You cannot directly access private member with the help of properties. With the help of setter and getters method you can these are basically control methods, and that are the setter and getter, and through these control method you can access the private data members. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to just p dot, I am going to set the id, p dot set id. It will basically write the data, and I am giving the id to the parameter value 1, and then I am going to set p dot set name. For second I am going to give the name laptop here. Then third I am going to p dot get, I am getting to call the get id function that will write product id, and then p dot get name that will basically write the value of the name that is set here. Okay, these are basically properties that we are going to access through our main function. Okay, so we can see that these now we can access these method. Just I am going to call the p dot display, or you can see that now it is accessible. First default constructor is called, then p dot set id property set the values for id and name, and then it will return that values that is going to be displayed. One more thing is that if you don't want to use this display function in your product class and you directly want to display the value of your property, you can comment it here, and you can just in main method you can comment this function, and second you can use system.out.print, you can use p dot get id, you can print that return value because we are not using the display function. So and similarly so control space for just p dot get name, so it will return the name for your product. So as I'm going to execute it, it will display the same output. First default constructor is called, then product id 1 is called, then product name 1 laptop is going to be printed. So this is the basic implementation of the encapsulation. This product class contains the encapsulation, you can now say, because it has a property, it has a private data member, and it contains setter and getters that are must for your encapsulation concept, because you cannot access these private data members without the public method. And these are the public control. You can see that these are setter and getter are publicly control method. Setter basically the write data, and getter basically read data, whatever it is set in your setter built-in function. Second thing is that you can third, we created the object in our main program. We don't use any parameterized constructor here. We just access our private variable with the help of these setter and getter method as well. So you can see that this is the concept of the encapsulation, because encapsulation provide you more data protection due to its private visibility, and private members can be accessed through public method. So what is the advantage here is that we control our variables in encapsulation with these control method. For example, if you want to check the values, I can add in the property. For example, you can use the if variable here. If id is greater than to 0, for example, then it will write id and assign it to the this variable. So we are not going to means no user can. Now you can see that as I am going to execute it, it will basically execute it well, because we have set the id 1, means no user can place some negative values here. Because p dot set id, if someone places it here, it can not directly change our values. Private members, it is first checked in our member functions, because with the help of these control method, we can change the values of our private attribute. We cannot directly change our values, means no user can have right to directly move here and set the values p dot id equals to -3. So we control this thing in our code with the help of this property. So this is the concept related to the encapsulation. Hopefully it is clear to you. Thank you very much.